guys, this is Miss Kelly, and as promised, I am recording a video on division. That was one of the topics that was requested by several students and several parents, and so I wanted to get on here and make that for you and just spend some time talking about the different strategies that you could use to solve division problems. Division and multiplication is such an important part of third grade, and it is a type of equation that really doesn't go away. You're going to have a lot of multiplication and division work from here all the way through your senior year of high school and far beyond that if you choose to continue your education, and it's definitely a math skill that you will use in your adult life. Just ask your parents. I'm sure they use some type of multiplication or division almost daily in their everyday life. So to start us off, I'm just using a blank piece of white paper, and I just grabbed a couple different colors of markers or pens. If you would like to make this along with me, that's the only materials that you need. So you could choose to pause the video and go grab those things right now. All right, so for starters, in the middle of our paper, I'm just going to write a division equation, and I'm just going to go with 24 divided by 4. And just as a reminder, division sentences can be written two ways. They can be written with the division symbol, just as I have here. They can also be written with what I call the garage, the little thing that looks like that, okay? Now, if your division equation is set up like that, just remember that, like I said, when we were talking about a garage, I said if I had like a not very nice car and then a really nice fancy car, which one would I put in the garage? And you guys told me the nice fancy car. I'm gonna put the nice big fancy number inside, and I'm gonna put the smaller number on the outside. That's how you set up division equations if you're going to use this symbol. Okay, so either way is acceptable, and you should be able to recognize that both ways are representing division. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and box that off, and then I'm going to just kind of divide the paper into thirds. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go, 3 parts. And that way I have one place for each of the 3 strategies that we need to use and know for multiplication and division. And so the first one of those is the array model. And the array model, remember, uses rows and columns. So I'm just going to write array at the top there. Just making sure my video was still recording. It went blank for a minute. I'm going to write array model at the top there, and then I'm just going to write the little rows and columns to help you remember. Rows and columns. Okay, and so I can use an array model to solve for division, because when I'm looking at a problem like 24 divided by 4, I can make rows of 4 until I get to 24. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and just make rows of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I'm a little out of a little room here, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right, so as you can see, I made rows of 4 until I got to a total number of 24. And what I can do is I can then go in and count how many columns or rows that created. So 1, these pens are the worst. Do not buy the Walmart brand Flair pens. They are not good. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see that when I created an array model and I made rows of 4, counting to 24, there were then 6 rows that were created. So 24 divided by 4 equals 6. Okay. All right. What's another type of skill that I can use to solve a division problem? I know that if I was in person with you guys, somebody would probably raise their hand and would tell me that I could use a group set model, and that person would be correct. So remember, group or set model, both are this different names for the same thing. And I just all year said both terms because I want you to be familiar with both depending on which one gets used. All right, group set. And I'm just gonna have to use this. I'm sorry, guys. You can use different colors at home. Group set model, okay? And a group or a set model is exactly like the name sounds. It has groups or sets of objects. So to do a group set model for 24 divided by 4, I would simply make 4 groups, and I would put 1 in each until I get to 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And I've made sure that I was nice and neat with the marks that I was making in there so I didn't make any mistakes. And you will see that each group has the same number in it, and it should, because division means dividing into equal groups at this point in 3rd grade. And so each group should have an equal number of markers inside of it. So each group has 6, and that tells me that when I take the total number of 24 and I divide it into 4 groups, there will be 6 in each. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Okay? Now, the very last strategy that we can use, and it was the one that I told you all year was my very favorite one, is the number line, which is also known as the length model. Remember, I said length could be the word that they would have used to have described it on the SOL, so I just wanted you to be familiar with both names, number line or length model. And this one is my very favorite because this one is the most, in my opinion, accurate. You don't have to worry about making little rows of X's or putting little dots in circles. This is the one that is easiest to be the most accurate with. You can make sure that you get the answer correct. And it also utilizes skip counting, which is such an important skill. And being able to count off by the number that you're multiplying or dividing for is going to set you up for a better place in 4th and 5th grade, because they use what's called a multiplication chart to multiply and divide. And basically what you do to make the multiplication chart is you just skip count. So this is a really good practice for what you're going to be doing next year when you're multiplying and dividing in 4th grade. So the number line or length model is exactly what it sounds like. It's a line of numbers. Okay. Reminder, all number lines must start at 0. And we've talked about that throughout the year. You know that's an important part of a number line. So I start my number line at 0. And then since I'm dividing by 4s, I'm going to count off on my number line by 4. So 4, 8, 16, 20, 24. Oh, I skipped 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. All right, and I don't need to go any farther than 24 because I'm just dividing by 24, so there's no reason to go any farther. Now what I do is I start at 24 and I just hop back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you will see that it takes 6 hops of 4 to get to 24. Okay, so the number line or length model is the 3rd strategy that you can use for multiplication and division. So you have your array, which is your rows and columns, where you made rows of 4 until you got to 24, and then you counted up that created 6 rows. You can use the group set, where you take 4 groups and you put 1 in each until you get to 24, and then you would find that there is 6 in each group. Or you can use the number line, where you count by 4s until you get to 24, and then you count your bunny hops to see how many hops to get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And like I said, this is my favorite one because it's the most accurate and it utilizes skip counting. There is no shame in having to put a number in your head and count up 4 more on your fingers. Whatever strategy you have to use to be successful until you get that skip counting pattern down in your head, it doesn't matter, okay? There's no shame and counting on your fingers. I guarantee you, myself included, and many adults probably do that still. So there is no shame in having to count some things up in your head to keep track of it. It is better to have done that than to have made a mistake because you didn't take the time to do that. So if you need to, put 4 in your head and add 4 more and say 5, 6, 7, 8. There is no shame in that. The last thing I just wanted to talk with you about is I just wanted to remind you and review with you that the answer to a division problem is called the quotient, okay? So the answer to the division problem is called the quotient. So when we found that 24 divided by 4 was 6, 6 was our quotient, our answer. Now, I wanted to just flip over. I've used my paper, several of my papers. Let me find a blank one. I wanted to just take another sheet of paper and I wanted to just review with you the fact family that would be created from this division fact. And you can do this with any division fact. So 24 divided by 4 we said was equal to 6. Okay, now remember, our related division fact means that 24 divided by 6 would equal 4. Now, we know that division is related to multiplication because you can use all of those same 3 strategies, array, number line, and group set, to solve multiplication equations. And division and multiplication, they go together just like addition and subtraction do. So we can actually, as part of the same fact family, create 2 multiplication facts here. And those multiplication facts would be that 6 times 4 is equal to 24, and 4 times 6 is equal to 24. Okay, all of those facts together makes what we call a fact family. And we call division and multiplication the inverse operation. Okay, and that means that they go together. So division is the inverse operation of multiplication, just like addition is the inverse operation of subtraction. Third little thing to just throw in there, because I'm always just trying to make sure you know your terms. Remember, you did also need to know the property of multiplication. What property is that says you can switch the factors and still get the same product? Hopefully some of you are shouting it out at home right now. 6 times 4 is 24, just like 4 times 6 is 24. Remember, that's called the commutative property of multiplication. And that is all for now. This is just a little extra bonus here on the back. All right, I absolutely loved making that video for you. I hope that that was a good refresher and that you learned something from it, or that you at least reviewed some content and that you're feeling a little more confident now in your division. If you can think of something else that you need to see a lesson and you need to see some examples worked out, have your parents send that to me on Dojo. I would absolutely love to have the opportunity to make another video for you guys. I am not at school where I love to be, and so I am more than happy to spend my days at home making videos for you. So you let me know what you need to hear. Maybe it's multiplication, or maybe it's something else from this year. All right, take care, and I look forward to hearing from you. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and you kind of practiced this today on your own somewhere, you can see all my pages because I practiced too. If you practiced it, you could send me a picture of it through Dojo so I know you got to participate today. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.